Sounds good. Hi, everybody. Welcome today. We're grateful that you decided to join us on this day. My name is Karen Menendez-Collar, and I am the Executive Director of Centro Hispano of Dane County. I'm also a member of the Latino Consortium for Action and a member of the Voces de la Frontera Madison chapter. I'm joined here by my amazing friend, Grisel Rodriguez. She is a very active member of the Madison Voces de la Frontera chapter based here locally. Our goal today is to send a message that we are remaining hopeful and remaining driven in our commitment to fighting for equity alongside our Latinx community, against any threat and against any attack. Forcibly separating families is inhumane, it's unjust, and should be illegal regardless of immigration status, whether it happens at the border or if it happens more locally here in Dane County. Our wonderful state of Wisconsin is gifted with assets, resilience, and the overflowing value immigrants provide. These are our neighbors, our friends, and we should be committed to always walking alongside them, committed to walking alongside me. Today, we hope you will listen to testimony from affected individuals in Dane County. They're affected by separation, and I want you to commit to yourself to share these stories. And above all, join us in demanding action. Our families have always deserved to be together. They deserve to receive the same respect they bring for this country, and they should be protected as they continue in their journey to fulfill every hope and every dream.
Muchas gracias por venir hoy. Mi nombre es Grisel Rodríguez y soy miembro de Voces de la Frontera del capítulo de Madison. Me acompaña una gran líder, Karen Menendez-Collar, que es directora ejecutiva del Centro Hispano de Dane County. Nuestra meta hoy es enviar un mensaje muy claro de que tenemos la esperanza de permanecer con el compromiso de lucha por la equidad para nuestra comunidad latina contra cualquier amenaza y contra cualquier ataque. La separación forzada de familias es inhumana, es injusta y debe ser ilegal, independientemente del estatus migratorio y sin importar si esto sucede en la frontera o aquí en el condado de Dane. Nuestro maravilloso estado se conoce por sus atributos, su fortaleza y el gran valor que proporcionan los inmigrantes. Ellos son nuestros vecinos, nuestros amigos, y debemos comprometernos a caminar siempre junto con ellos. Hoy estamos en la lucha y escuchemos los testimonios de personas en el condado de Dane afectadas por la separación. Debemos comprometernos a compartir estas historias y, sobre todo, únanse con nosotros en esta exigencia de acción. Nuestras familias merecen permanecer juntas, unidas, y merecen recibir el mismo respeto que traen a este país. Y deben ser protegidas mientras continúan luchando para cumplir cada esperanza y cada sueño. Así que me place en complacer en presentar a la señora María Portugal al podio.
And we're going to welcome María Portugal to share her story. She's here joined by her two kids, Mario and Maribel. Maripil. And please just listen carefully and again, take it all in and hope you will go ahead and share her story with others. Before that, though, I do want to welcome people that I noticed here today. The Dane County Sheriff, Dave Mahoney, is here, and also from the State Assembly, Lisa Subek is over there as well, so thank you.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es María Portugal. Tengo 20 años de estar en este estado, Wisconsin. Llegué a los 23 años con mis dos hijas pequeñas.
Good afternoon. My name is María Portugal. I've been in the state of Wisconsin for the last 20 years. I came here when I was 23, and I came with two kids.
My husband, I bring me to a los Estados Unidos. Sufrí violencia doméstica y no sabía nada porque yo no salía a ningún lado, solo estaba en mi casa y trabajaba.
So when I came here with my husband, and then I was a victim of domestic violence. I didn't know how things work. I only was dedicated to working and attending my home.
No sabía a quién recurrir. Durante 5 años fui víctima de violencia doméstica.
I didn't know what to do or where to go. For about 5 years, I was a victim of domestic violence.
Empecé a conocer personas. Ellos me dijeron que yo podía ir a lugares donde me protegían.
And then I started to meet people, and they told me that there were places where I could go and seek for help.
Pasó el tiempo, tenía miedo sobre si él me podía hacer algo. Bueno, todo estaba bien. Pasaron los años hasta que me decidí aplicar para la visa U.
So time went by, and I was still nervous, didn't know what to do, but finally I got the courage to apply for a U visa.
Tengo 3 años esperando para esa respuesta, para estar legalmente en este país.
I've been waiting for 3 years for that U visa to adjust my status.
Ahora, bueno, tengo 3 hijos más nacidos aquí en Estados Unidos.
Now I have 3 more kids, and they were born here in the U.S.
Recibí una noticia que por error de una persona
I got a news that from a mistake of somebody else,
tengo una orden de deportación.
that I have a deportation order.
Y estoy preocupada y triste por mi pequeña hija.
I'm really worried and sad, mostly because of my little kid right here.
Por mis hijos, que no sé si ellos van a llegar a agarrarme y no dar tiempo a llevar a mis hijos con alguien para que ellos puedan estar más tarde conmigo o me manden enseguida a México, no sé.
And for my kids overall, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if they're going to detain me. If so, what's going to happen to my kids? Where are they going to take me? Where are they going to take my kids? I'm going to be reunited with them later. I don't know.
Tengo días sin dormir, voy a mi trabajo, pero estoy inquieta a saber respuestas, si alguien me va a decir, te están esperando en tu casa, si puedo dejar a mis hijos con alguien o qué puedo hacer.
I haven't been able to sleep for days. I'm nervous and worried everywhere I go, especially at my work. I'm working, but I'm also thinking that somebody's going to call me and give me some bad news, that maybe somebody's looking for me and they are going to detain me.
Solo recibí la llamada de mi abogado y él me dijo que le habían hablado de inmigración para decir que tenía una orden de deportación.
I only got a phone call from a lawyer, and immigration told him that I had a deportation order.
No sabía qué hacer, pero gracias a mi abogado, él me dijo que existen personas como ustedes, como ellos, que me pueden apoyar.
So I didn't know what to do, but thank my lawyer. He told me that there were people out there, people like you, like this organization, that could help me.
Y por eso ahora estoy aquí.
And that's why I'm here today.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Gracias, María. Ay, se cayó esto. Por su testimonio y por sus fuerzas. Y no está sola. Aquí estamos todos con usted. Ya va a ver. Ujú. Ah, ya. Now, María San Mario would like to say a few words.
So, I could lose my mother to immigration, where I could never see her again. It could be a chance. she's a great mother. And she didn't do anything wrong. She just wanted to have a free life and be happy. But she's waiting for her visa, but it's not coming, and she didn't get into any problems, but immigration still had to get them got her into problems. And it's hard.
Gracias, Mario, for your strength and for courage. And we're going to be here. Don't you worry. Your mom's not going anywhere. Next, I'd like to introduce Alicia Ferreira of Waukesha and of Voces de la Frontera. Her ex-husband, Franco, has been detained by ICE since June 11th, despite qualifying for DACA. We want to invite people to visit vdlf.org/Free Franco to sign the petition for Franco Ferreira. So, Alicia.
My name is Alicia Ferreira. I was born in Waukesha, Wisconsin, and so were my 4 kids. Franco is my ex-husband and my co-parent, and he has an asylum petition pending, and he didn't do anything wrong, and he was following everything that ICE was telling him to do, and I was having regular check-ins at the ICE office in Milwaukee. During his check-in with his lawyer on June 11th, he was detained and not given any notice for the detainment. ICE is saying the only reason that he is detained is because his visa waiver program, he came here in 2001 when he was 13 years old, expired and hasn't been renewed. I met Franco in middle school. We were both 13 when we met, and I didn't know what illegal meant, and I didn't even know a person could be illegal. In middle school is when we met, and he got his education here at Waukesha South in Wisconsin and graduated. He's been here for 17 years. He's been here longer than he's lived in Argentina. His whole family is here. His kids, his parents, his uncles, his cousins. He's in Dodge County Detention Facility in the federal prison with the other inmates. The past 6 weeks have been the hardest of my life and my children's life. We can go visit him on Saturdays for a 30-minute visit. And my kids have to see their father behind glass and talk to him through a phone. My kids can't sleep. They can't go a full day without throwing a temper tantrum or crying, wanting their dad. As a mother, not being able to provide something for your kids is just devastating and heartbreaking. I can't give them a reason that they understand why they can't see their father. Franco is detained, and it's inhumane and unjust. Franco's not a criminal. Franco was brought here from Argentina to have a better life because it was unsafe in Argentina where he was living. His whole family came here. I, as a mother, and anybody who has kids, could understand that they want to provide the best, the most love, the most support for their children. Detaining a father, a loving, caring father, away from children is child abuse. My children are just devastated and their whole worlds are flipped upside down. I know that there's a lot of other families that are going through the same problems, the same struggles, the same emotional struggles, and that there are people out there who care, and that we can change this, and we can together stay strong for the kids. The kids are our future, and we need to do what's best for our children of the future. And my kids cannot be productive member of society growing up if they hate law enforcement. Every time we go to the jail, they scream that they hate police officers. They hate jail. They hate it, and my son is so angry. I cannot have him growing up. My kid's angry and mad at police officers. Everything that I've told them, that police are good people and they help us. They don't trust anybody now. They don't trust the government who's supposed to protect us. They thought that I could get taken too, and I tried to tell them that I was born in Wisconsin. I'm okay and we're okay. They think that police officers can just take anybody. And they wake up every night crying because they want their dad. And I can't console them because I can't give them what they need. They just need their father back. These past 6 weeks have been hell on earth for my children and for myself. And this injustice needs to end. It needs to stop. We need to love our children up, love everybody. This is inhumane and immoral. And I please, God, just for the children of our future, please, they need a loving, nourishing environment. They need to grow up with compassion. They need to grow up trusting people who are supposed to be helping us, like the police officers and the government. I know that there's being this situation, that there's so many other families that are scared to speak out, and thank God for the people who are speaking out, and we need to help each other and stand together to end this now. We need our children. We need them to be safe emotionally, and there's people out there to help, and all we have is hope. We don't know what's going on. ICE is not giving us any information about what's going on with Franco, what may happen to Franco. We don't know. And that's very, very concerning. And so I'm asking everybody just for prayers, and to if anybody can help, and anybody who is in the same situation, that there are people out here and these organizations to help, and Voces have been amazing at helping support my family personally, and please, if anybody is able to help us and end this, thank you.
Thank you, Alicia. Thank you so much. And again, to go to the petition, the link is vdlf.org/Free Franco. Next, we want to invite Reverend Sonia Ingebrigtsen of Madison Christian Community and the Dane Sanctuary Coalition.
Good afternoon. On behalf of Madison Christian Community and the Dane Sanctuary Coalition, welcome, and we thank you so much for being here. Dane Sanctuary is a broad coalition of Dane County's interfaith community along with other individuals. It began as a conversation among faith leaders and leaders in the local Latinx community after the election of a president who expressed open hostility toward immigrants and threatened increased enforcement. It soon became clear that this administration would follow through on its threats against immigrants. Parents, as you've heard today, had to worry about being separated from their children, and children have had to worry that their parents would simply disappear. Dane Sanctuary Coalition coalesced. 3 sanctuary sites were identified last summer. One is here at Madison Christian Community, which is a partnership between Advent Lutheran and Community of Hope United Church of Christ. The others are Orchard Ridge United Church of Christ and First Unitarian Society, along with their partner, Congregation Sharia Shemayim. A 4th site is currently under development at James Reeb Unitarian Universalist Congregation. In addition to these 4 sites, several other congregations and individuals around the area have pledged their support. As the weeks and months have passed since we first imagined the need for sanctuary, all of us have continued to witness the horror of the current administration's treatment of immigrants and asylum seekers. We, as Dane Sanctuary Coalition, stand in support of our immigrant neighbors. But the truth is, there shouldn't be a need for undocumented immigrants living in Dane County to even need sanctuary. There shouldn't be a need for undocumented immigrants to live in fear that their lives will be torn apart and even live in fear for their very lives if they are denied visas or asylum and are deported. There shouldn't be a need for those who have contributed to our community and economy, who are doing their best to raise and support families, and who are our friends, neighbors, and relatives, to be reduced to pawns in the political game of immigration enforcement that continues to be played out here and around the country. And yet, this is the reality. We are concerned and outraged by the cruelty and capriciousness of current immigration enforcement policies and practices. It is our country's public disgrace that Maria and her family must stand before these cameras and beg for the right to retain her family while she continues in the legal process for a visa related to domestic violence. It is our country's public shame that Alicia must stand before these cameras and beg for her children to be reunited with their father, who, as a DACA recipient, should have been able to rely on his freedom. We must say no to these and many other abuses of immigration enforcement. Current political rhetoric, policies, and enforcement practices are increasingly attempting to dehumanize immigrants. We must call this dehumanization a lie. We must call it for what it is and warn of its dangers. Immigrants, no matter their status, and their families are, we declare as Dane Sanctuary Coalition, beloved children of God. We have varied religious traditions, but all of them tell us that those who are immigrants and refugees among us are due our special care and concern. But one doesn't need to be a part of a religious tradition to recognize that we have a moral responsibility to take care of the vulnerable, and our country's immigrants are becoming more and more vulnerable. We must be willing to speak out against the dehumanization of our immigrant neighbors. If not, we ourselves are increasingly vulnerable to our own dehumanization as a consequence of standing by and not stepping in. Dane Sanctuary Coalition will not stand by. We will step in. We will continue to affirm with words and actions the need for humane and just immigration laws and enforcement for Maria and her family, for Alicia and her family, and for every immigrant in our community. And we will continue to oppose that which is inhumane and unjust. Thank you for being here and being a part of this effort.
I was handed several pieces of paper. We are extremely proud that there's diverse representation here from all parts of Madison, from Dane County Sanctuary Coalition members to UW organizations, Lambda Theta Phi, the UW Dreamers, to elected officials who we mentioned before. One more that I wanted to thank, Tanya Buckingham is here from the Dane County Board. Thank you so much for coming and joining us, Tanya. Team Lucha, Salvador Carranza is the leader. Salvador has always been an advocate for the community. Thank you, Sal. And now I'm going to pass it to Grisel to introduce our leader and our light.
Next, Christine Newman Ortiz from Voces de la Frontera.
We call on the ICE Regional Director, Ricardo Wong, to meet with a delegation of Wisconsin families that are being threatened by Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and to clearly and publicly state that ICE will stop threatening Maria and expedite her U visa application, and make a public assurance that she will not be detained. We call on all people of conscience to sign the online petition for Maria and other Wisconsin families like Franco Ferreira, who are being wrongfully separated from their children and their community, and to be able to turn out quickly, as people did today, for public actions when needed. In this election year, we need our elected officials and candidates for office to support defunding ICE. It is a rogue agency that makes the public less safe and is driven by the politics of xenophobia, cruelty, and mass incarceration. This is one step forward in the abolition of this cruel institution that terrorizes working class families like Maria's and Alicia's. We need all of you to encourage U.S. Senator Baldwin to join progressive Democrats and vote no on the September funding bill unless it cuts funding to ICE and protects dreamers. And we must win protections at the local and state and federal level, such as restoring driver's licenses, which is what happened in the case of Franco, what flagged him, driving without a license infraction, because we need to restore access for immigrants to driver's licenses. We need to pass policies that stop collaboration between ICE and local law enforcement. Sheriff Mahoney we need to duplicate the policy of that limits that collaboration throughout Wisconsin, and we need to win DREAM Act and other protections. We must grow our network of people of conscience to beat back what is happening, up to and including acts of nonviolent civil disobedience, such as what the Dane County Sanctuary Coalition is building, the interruption of raids, and economic strikes, such as Day Without Latinos and Immigrants, which in Wisconsin has really led that movement with results, and boycotts of corporations that are profiting from mass incarceration. I want to thank everyone who is here, and I also just want to recognize the tremendous bravery that María Portugal and Alicia are demonstrating today in speaking out. And just to be clear, when immigration agents contacted Maria's attorney, they threatened to separate her from her children if she did not provide information or somehow get her estranged husband to turn himself in, someone who she has not seen in over a year. To do that to a survivor of domestic violence, to do that is very important. I consider this testimony extremely important. First of all, because Maria herself has been threatened by deportation. I think we're here to stand with her to say we will stand up and fight with you, and we're calling for ICE Regional Director to respond and ensure that her visa will get expedited and they will not go after her. These kind of tactics are no different from what we're seeing at the border, where there's an intentional, systematic policy, a cruel policy, to essentially emotionally and physically torture parents and children and separate them, driven by the politics of white nationalism of Trump, Sessions, and Stephen Miller. We're gonna win this battle. We're gonna win this battle one family at a time and one community at a time. No human being is illegal. Si se puede.
And now we're going to open it up for questions. We actually have a mic also, so Mario, I think you have it. Can people raise their hands? Oh, Leila.
Just one quick question.
I think, well, Christine knows that for the last 10 years, I have been working down at the Arizona-Mexico border with migrants who are deported through Nogales. And for the last 10 years, Border Patrol agents have been forcibly separating families when they deport them, so that both deport the mother through California, the father through Nogales, Arizona, and maybe the children through Texas. They confiscate their cell phones and all money and everything but the clothes on their backs, so that they will never be able to reunite these families. I understand that the Sheriff's Department here is no longer keeping people on ICE holds longer than 2 days, but I'd like to know, I've heard from 3 lawyers in town, immigration lawyers, that the Sheriff's Department is still putting 2-day ICE holds on these people, and then they get deported and separated from families. I'd like to know why our Sheriff's Department is still doing this.
I was just gonna say, just for the interest of the family situations, we're gonna hold this question, but I think that we can discuss it later.
I think Christine wants to make
I
a quick
could
point.
at least make one point without like kind of getting into more of that, but, because I do believe that it is,
That when I mentioned about the standard we need to strive for, and I appreciate the clarification because it's important clarification, we believe that especially at this time now, when under the Trump administration, there are no priorities, so which means anyone is vulnerable, and they're using programs to more quickly identify and move people out, that the what we're calling for in every county, and whether that's a police department or the sheriff's department, is that they have a policy, because these detainers, which is a request by immigration that says, hey, I think that person could be undocumented, I want you to hold them for me. Really the standard nationally that is being sought, and which we should achieve here in Wisconsin at every level, is that these detainer requests have been considered unconstitutional by the courts, and that people, once they have been found innocent or served their sentence, whatever that is, that they should be released unless immigration is providing a judicial warrant. And short of that, they should be released, and that is the standard, and that's the policy that we're seeking at every level.
Any other questions, especially from the press?
Yes, I have a question. So what actions can people take? What can we do to help? What are the next steps?
So the question is, what actions can people take, and what can we do? What are the next steps? I'm going to open it up to anybody who wants to. I can comment as well, but, oh, okay. Well, I think there's two pretty clear actions here. One, support families, like the Frontera family, who's been fighting for a very long time, signed a petition. Support families like Maria to make sure that her case is expedited. Make sure that you follow the actions of Voces de la Frontera. And above all, personally, what I think will really transform the change in our community is sharing these stories, recognizing the humanity in our families, the voices that you hear tonight, and sharing them with others so that everybody's educated, understands what we're going through, and in the end will not be fooled when we're being manipulated by all the lies that we're hearing right now in the national rhetoric. So. Oh, yeah. Can I actually make a quick point about that? Yeah, there, in Dane County, we're extremely well organized, where the Dane County Sanctuary is an option. We actually have a Dane County Legal Defense Fund, which is extremely important as we're providing legal advocacy and defense for families that are facing the issues that you heard here today. And if you want more information about that, feel free to reach out to me at Centro Hispano. We also have an immigration and refugee task force in collaboration with law enforcement across all Dane County, in which Sheriff Dave Mahoney is actually very active and a very strong advocate and participant. And then we also have an emergency crisis response team. So there's different networks that are in place. If you have questions or if you want to take part or volunteer, you can always feel free to reach out to me or anybody else that's here in the podium, and I'll let you.
Just quickly wanted to say that those who are interested in being part of this volunteer database that we're developing in the event that someone does need to come into Sanctuary, I just wanted to point out, either Ellen or Bonnie, would you raise your hands? If you would like to, if you're not already a part of that volunteer system and would like to join that, they can get you hooked up for that.
And then just one other way that I think is important that I mentioned earlier is that this is an election year, and there are important votes that are being taken on the national budget. Every year, like, Department of Homeland Security keeps growing their budget, and everything that we've seen grow keeps growing. So it has to be cut off. The funding has got to be cut off. So I think where there are opportunities to, for example, call as folks who are in Tammy Baldwin's district, it's really important to encourage you to join this group of progressive Democrats to beat back the funding, the continued funding of ICE, and as well as I would just say to where there are opportunities to hear from the candidates, to really stand strong in solidarity with immigrant and refugee families so that everyone knows where the candidates stand on these issues, and and can stand with the families in a very real way because they have real power to influence the conditions under which we're living.
You mentioned about signing a petition, but is there something, you have it written down or somewhere, because you just mentioned it, and I didn't grasp it, so I would like to be able to do that.
Diane will share it in the MCC news.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
There we go. Well, maybe. So it can be downloaded, and people have downloaded the petition and made a paper version of it for people who are not online and circulated it, and those have been collected and then delivered. And I think for like the what Karen mentioned about liking the Voces de la Frontera or Voces de la Frontera action, liking both, is that moments like these where we have to quickly respond, basically have a rapid response, or in the case of Franco Ferreira, there will be a bond decision coming out, whether he could be released. That would make a huge difference. In moments like that, or where we're trying to get a meeting with the ICE regional director because they still have authority to use discretion to say, you know what, these folks are making important contributions and they should not be removed. He has that authority. And so we want to do public actions and force a meeting with the ICE regional director in Chicago. So I think to be able to quickly respond, but that's where we will deliver. That online petition is going to him with the demands we've raised here. But paper versions can also be collected here locally and then delivered as part of that.
How do you respond to people who say that this country needs ICE, it keeps us safe?
I want to say this country never had ICE before September 11th, so maybe they should think about how things have changed because of ICE. I think what really frustrates me the most is that the media doesn't have the facts, they don't have the data, they don't follow immigration trends, they don't understand the patterns in our community, and it's all being kind of propagated based on fake news that don't understand how our community is growing in a productive, solid fashion. So.
My ex-husband, who is not a criminal and doesn't have any criminal record, he was detained, and he's not a threat to society. He is a loving, caring father. He works hard. He financially supported the 4 children. For the twins are 7 now. So he's been a productive member of society. He's been, volunteer at the YMCA for soccer camps, for youth soccer camps. I mean, just because he wasn't able to get his legal status finalized doesn't mean that he's a criminal or that he's a threat to society. So I think there's a lot of kind of people just discriminating and being either racist or stereotyping. All people who are illegal are a threat to society, and he has never once threatened my children or anybody that I know. So I don't understand ICE, and I requested records from ICE, just saying, because they were making statements that are not true about my ex-husband and his whole immigration status in his case that are false. And I'm requesting records, and they won't give them to me at all. They're supposed to be public record, and they are not, and nobody can get a hold of them. So I think that that's probably something that ICE needs to be asked and about they're not consistent with any sort of regulations or policies that they even do have. So I don't know how or why they're just taking people, working families.
I think the only thing to add to that is that that we've really been witnessing for the last 3 decades now a huge, monstrous growth in mass incarceration of U.S. citizens and now immigrants. And this is a big business. You have over 73% just on immigration, immigrants who are held in private prisons. This is a business too. And this doesn't make us less safe. We know that where there are policies where, first of all, where immigrants can be welcomed and valued for their contributions, we know that we are all better off. I mean, this is a nation of immigrants, but also in our current period that we're benefiting. That doesn't mean that we're not, we don't want to be, for anyone, regardless of their status or background, not be held accountable for their actions, but we want to be able to build institutions that are compassionate, that are investing in healthcare, that are investing in education, that are investing in jobs, and a lot of the things that lead to a lot of the circumstances. But this policy is really driven by hate and fueled by policies of mass incarceration.
So you talk about being in the system legally, going through your papers and having difficulties. As of yesterday, Trump has now started going for legal immigrants just as much as illegal immigrants. How does that change your perspective going forward as organizations? Where do you see maybe this shifting a little bit of what you were going to be dealing with?
I mean, in general, for the groups represented up here, I mean, I think, one of the, if there could ever be a possible silver lining to the disaster that we're in right now, is that I think the community outside of us who have been working in this, doing this work for so many years has come to understand the struggles in our community, and the fact that publicly someone is actually saying that they're going out in full force against our community doesn't change all the hard work and the effort that we've been doing all along. Our communities have always struggled. We've always been in the fringes. We've always fought our way. And that's just something that we're going to continue to do. The challenges are higher now because I think the administration has a target on our backs. But at the same time, I think we're in a better place because all of you are present and all of you are here to say that we're not going to go at it alone. So. There's a question over there.
I would like to say one thing. I think there's an incredible amount of fear among the immigrant people. Fear to go to church, fear to go to school, fear to go to the stores, fear of being targeted by stormtroopers. This country has never had anything like ICE before, but other countries have, and we know this. Some of us full-timers know what I say when I mean stormtroopers, to go in and grab people out of their houses. I think it's incredibly important that we have 1,000 or 1 million points of these meetings. We have to drive people. I drive people all the time. I drive them to court. I drive them to the hospitals, to the clinics. That's a service that I can do. I do not speak Spanish, but I've been in the cars with for any number of years. Christine can vouch for that. But it's that willingness to know it's shameful. I'm ashamed of what's happening today. I'm just ashamed of it.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And with that, we're going to close it out, but our hope is that the media will remain and perhaps ask for one-on-one questions of the individuals that are here. Thank you so much for coming. Veronica Figueroa is there, who I haven't acknowledged. She is the leader for Unidos Against Domestic Violence here in Dane County. Tremendous force and tremendous support for our community. So thank you so much, everybody. Just 1 second, María wants to come to the mic.
Gracias a todos por venir y quiero decirle a la comunidad que no estamos solos, tenemos gente que nos apoye. He tenido 20 años aquí, sé cómo es la gente en Wisconsin, muchos nos quieren, muchos no, pero luchamos.
Today, and I've been here for 20 years and I know Wisconsin, and many of you like us, many of you don't, but we're here fighting.
Y a ahora estoy aquí
I'm here
porque
today
me volví a casar con el
because
padre
I
de mi
got
bebé,
married again with the father of my little kid,
pero me separé de él, estamos separados.
but I divorced. We've
Para
been
que me
separated,
entiendan por qué estoy aquí ahora,
so that you understand why I'm here today.
porque él cometió un error
Because he made a mistake
que yo no sabía,
that I didn't know.
lo buscaron,
They looked for him.
no lo
They
encontraron,
didn't find him.
se contactaron con mi abogado, que sabían que yo estoy en un proceso de visa.
They called my lawyer. They knew I was going through the visa process.
Emigración le dijo,
Immigration told my lawyer,
si ella no da información de él,
if she doesn't give us any information about him,
no lo entrega,
if he doesn't turn him in,
vamos a ir por ella. Tiene una orden de deportación de hace 20 años.
we're going to go after her. She has a deportation order from 20 years ago.
Y el abogado se contactó conmigo, pidió información.
My lawyer called me. He asked for information.
Yo hace un año no veo al papá de mi hija,
I
ni
haven't
mi
seen
hija ve a su padre.
My daughter's
No sé
father in
nada.
a year. I don't know about him for over a year.
Ahora solo estoy luchando por mantenerme aquí, por ella, por mis hijos.
Today I'm just fighting. I'm here fighting for them and fighting for my children.
Y conocí a esta pequeña gente tan hermosa, a ustedes,
And I made these people and I made you wonderful people.
que no sabía que nos podían apoyar
I
en
didn't
estos
know you could
momentos.
support me through these times.
Tan difícil que tú no sabes decir, ¿qué voy a hacer?
Very difficult that I don't know what to do.
Solo sabes que estás esperando una visa y que solo tú haces las cosas bien, te mantienes trabajando, no haces cosas malas.
I just know that I've been waiting for my visa to be approved, that I've been working, that I haven't done anything wrong,
Y por error de otras personas tenemos que pagar nosotros.
and because of the mistake of others, we have to pay.
Gracias a todos por venir.
Thank you everybody for being here today.